we've roped in Advocate Adv Abigail Ngobene. Very good afternoon to you, Advocate. Thank you so much for joining us and a warm welcome to SA Today.
Thank you very much, Simpiwe, and thank you and greetings to the viewers of SABC.
First of all, Advocate, what are your impressions about the court's decision to dismiss Queen Ntokozo Kamaisela's application, considering that it comes just a day after King Misuzulu announced through a letter the cancellation of his planned wedding to Nomzamo Mieni? So what should we read into that?
Well, it is the law, Simpiwe, and what came to play today is the issue of agency. You would have noted in court that, and in any other agent application, that there are other hurdles or there are legs in law that whoever comes to court on agent basis will need to satisfy the court. One of the things that were particular was the issue of the elements of an interdict, a clear right, irreparable harm, balancing of convenience, and of course to the effect that there will be no any other alternative remedy should this not be considered. And of course the court came in to say, as of the right that the Queen is claiming to be having, it is not satisfied to the effect that that right will not be protected, or there is a right to protect, given that the Queen has already consented to the conversion, either the conversion of this current marital regime into that of customary. So my take on the matter will be entirely saying that it is the issue of the law. Whoever comes to court in a matter of agency need to satisfy those elements before the court can divulge or enter deeply into the merits of the matter.
But what legal standing does Queen Ntokozo Kamaisela have then in seeking to halt a wedding that has already been cancelled? And could the court still rule on this matter?
Well, there are a lot of simply conflicting messages coming, of course, relating to this particular matter. One would have seen that there is a statement which, of course, the king says the marriage is called off, or the wedding is called off, and all the benefits that were afforded to Kamieni are now revoked. And also there are other aspects to the matter. And what the Queen seemed to have approached the court for was on the basis that I'm married to the king in marriage and in community of property, which is civil marriage, not customary marriage. And in terms of the law, the customary marriage, the civil marriage only allows for two people, spouses, to be married, and there is issue of the joint estate. But what is coming to play today in court is the fact that there was a consent, seem to have been decisions behind the scene to say the marriage with the king can be converted to be that of a customary. That's what informs the letter, which has been the basis that the court ventilated on, to say if she had consented to that and she's satisfied and the door is open that another wife can come in, why now coming to say that there is a right to be protected, given that you are the one that consented, you are the one who opened the door, and you are aware? And of note, the court said that the activities that are happening now do not fit into the definition of what a conclusion of marriage could be in terms of the definition contained in the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act.
Well, Advocate, I'm actually glad you touched on the issue of the revocation of benefits as reflected in the letter that King Misuzulu wrote. And the big question is, I mean, what's your understanding of what the law says with regards to the beneficiation or the benefits, accruing, or the benefit that is entitled to a king's wife? Is a king's what you call girlfriend entitled to such benefits? Because another argument was raised that, the fact that he paid lobola for her, then she automatically is entitled to benefits. So what's your understanding of the law with regards to this?
Well, it is a matter where one cannot really come with a blanket, one blanket approach. But of course, you understand that in the context of that statement, it was an issue of security. One would have really, I cannot really dive into what is happening perhaps in the royal palace or what the customs of the Zulu tribe are, in as far as one's intention to have another wife would be. But of course, it would depend as well on how. You'll remember that the letter was directed to the provincial department. So it could be that it's based on policies, and it could be that it's based on the issues of saying when that has been made and there is a relationship that has already been established, there is an intention to make this person a queen, issues of security come into play. And of course, those benefits were going as far as that, as much as I have read the letter. So one cannot really be able to stand here and confirm the status to say when you are still a queen to be, do you qualify or you don't, until we have such policies that govern how the royal place, of course, and the customs, and of course the entitlement at that stage of the proceedings. They spoke of umgado, they spoke of a lot of other Zulu customs that were purported to be taking place, and the status of those will really need cultural experts to come and comment to say what is the status of the queen to be.
Well, we still haven't heard from the King's office with regards to this matter. So what potential legal and traditional consequences could arise if the King could decide, I'm going ahead with this wedding after all, and refutes the reported cancellation and proceeds with the wedding despite the ongoing court proceedings?
Simpiwe, there are a lot of things to the matter. You remember that what transpired today as well was to the effect that the King is saying some of the correspondences that we have in the public domain were not under his signature, were not the document that were officially released by him, given that at the time he was in seclusion. So one is really not sure on which statement to rely on and, of course, to deem it true. But what we can rely on, and certainly a view at home, will be the issue of saying what the court have ventilated on. Firstly, there is no order against the King as yet. The agent application that was before court today was, of course, struck off the roll for the lack of agents. And that does not necessarily mean that the Queen did not have a point in law. It was just saying that today you are in a wrong court. This is an agent court. And in an agent court, these are the things that you need to satisfy. And as the court, I'm of the view that you did not certify that. So she could still go and supplement her papers. But what, of course, the attorneys and the advocates of the King placed on record was to the effect that if the King was to go and marry now officially, he would be committing an offense in terms of the law, given that a spouse in civil marriage cannot conclude conclusively a marriage while that civil marriage still subsists.
All right, Advocate Abigail Ngobene, thank you so much for joining us. We do appreciate your time.